Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to, can you please stand?
Loving Me, Bon Jovi, special tune from Mark, a favourite tune of his. It's got some heartfelt words in there. You pick me up when I fall down. You ring the bell before they count me out. How appropriate. If I was drowning, you would be part the sea and risk your own life to rescue me. Important words. So anyway, good afternoon everybody, and welcome along to the celebration of Mark's life. Special welcome also to the people who are watching on the webcast today. We have people watching from the United States of America and from around the world, so also a very warm welcome to you people as well. My name is Ronnie Booth, and I'm a community celebrant, and I get to do lots of celebrations of life and other ceremonies just like this. I feel particularly honoured today and privileged as well to be standing up here in front of you, the family and the friends of Mark. Firstly, thanks to the friends, the pallbearers who brought Mark in today. You did him proud, and he would have been very proud of you also. After the ceremony today, everyone is cordially invited to the Greyhound pub in Sawston for some refreshments and obviously some more stories about Mark, some great memories, and hopefully there will be lots of laughter, and I'm sure there will be lots of tears as well. The charities that Mark's family have chosen are the Addenbrooke's Charitable Trust, Make-A-Wish and Diabetes UK. There's some information on how to donate on Mark's order of service, so thank you very much indeed in advance of any kind donations. Now, I didn't know Mark terribly well, but I knew of Mark, and everybody I spoke to knows of Mark. But having listened to the stories provided to me by his mum and dad, Pauline and Eddie, and of course Kelly and Chris as well, it really confirmed to me just what a special person Mark was, one of life's great characters. Always had time for everyone. Dedicated and motivated are words that come across all the time when we spoke about Mark. And these are very, very special traits indeed. And the amount of tributes to Mark, has just confirmed just how much he was loved by his family and by his friends alike. And speaking of tributes, the amount received when Mark was missing and the offers of help went into the millions across all of social media. That is, and excuse the pun, that is the mark of the man. I have to say, during the time I spent talking to Kelly and Chris, and also you, Pauline, it was a bit broken up because we were on audio from Norfolk. Not so sure if it was that good, but it was quite emotional, and their words and stories were emotional, and also about all the people who wanted to pay tribute to Mark. Everything was such warm-hearted. When I left, I thought just about how much Mark was loved, and what a special person he really was, and surrounded by so many special people within his family and his friends. There are so many stories to be told about Mark's life, far too many to be told here today, and of course there are some that could not possibly be told today. But I know the stories will continue to be there in years to come. Perhaps we can share a few more at the Greyhound later. So today, everyone, we come together to remember Mark. Let's do it with a smile, a Mark smile. We're not here today to dwell on the loss of a loving son or a brother, but we're here in full celebration of a man who knew how to live. We cannot argue with that. And how to laugh. We cannot argue with that. We come together to honour a man who meant so much to each and every one of you here today. A man whose presence filled the room with happiness, and perhaps he always had a story or two to tell. A man of strength and humour, of pride and character. And in the quiet power there of that Bon Jovi song, hopefully you felt something of Mark in the words and in the music, his depth, his integrity, and also his legacy. When somebody leaves us, it's always a sad time. It's very emotional and sometimes very, very difficult. It's heartwarming for me to stand here to see so many family and friends gathered together to help each other get through what can be quite a difficult day. Safe to say that nobody wanted to be here today, but we are all here. We're here for one person. We are all here for Mark today. Being together as one certainly does help, with all the memories, supporting each other, kind words, and great stories. Because now it's only memories, sadly, that are left. And it's really important that you, the family and friends of Mark, keep these memories close to your heart and think about him often. There will be many trigger points in your day-to-day living when Mark will come into your mind, so please enjoy those memories when they come in. Today we're saying farewell to Mark, but it's never farewell in your memories and it's never farewell in your heart. Mark will be there any time that you really want him to be. So Mark, I asked your mum and dad and Kelly and Chris to describe you in 3 words. How do you do that with Mark? If I asked you all here today to describe Mark in 3 words, what would you say? Does anybody want to stand up and have a go? Or perhaps you might just want to keep those words as a memory of the day. My Mark, back to the words. Here's what they had to say. Caring, motivated in life, dedicated to everything, especially your work. And I guess there's lots of people here can confirm that was the case. Enthusiastic about his wrestling. Perhaps that might have been a small understatement, Pauline, I'm not sure. Kelly said he had a bloody dry sense of humour. He loved comedians. Seen so many live, travelling the country to see the likes of Jimmy Carr, Paddy McGuinness, Tiny Tim and Chris Rock. It's more than 3 words. Of course it's more than 3 words, but how can you describe Mark in 3 words only? It's impossible. However, Pauline gave it a good try, and you've given me a lot more words, Pauline. Please allow me the privilege to read them out to you on Pauline's behalf. After a long 13-year wait for a baby, Mark was born at Mill Road on the 10th of January 1983. He was still not in a hurry, but after 24-hour labour, arrived weighing £8.10 with a head of jet black hair. That must have been nice for your heartburn. The doctor's first words were, "You need to book a barber's." Pauline replied, "It must have been all the Guinness you've been drinking." Eddie absolutely idolised Mark, and as a toddler wouldn't stop talking to anyone and everyone about him. It was his specialist subject at work, I believe. Mark always wanted to sit on Eddie's lap during his dinner. Mark went to play school. He wasn't over keen on this, probably because he spent a long time on the naughty stool. Do you still have a naughty stool? It's gone now, isn't it? That's a shame. That's one of life's traditions that need to be brought back, I believe. He also spent his days going into the toy library, bringing new toys home and mother and toddler groups. He then went on to John Faulkner School, followed by John Paxton School, and then Sawston Village College. He was always known as a chatterbox, and this often featured on his school reports and many journeys to the said naughty stool. He joined the Boys Brigade when he was 5. He received the first ever Belbin Award, which he was very proud of. He enjoyed many years as part of the Boys Brigade, including camps and activities and a band. Mark enjoyed many holidays as a child, spending most holidays in our caravan, and would never let us leave the site until after the clubhouse had finished on the last night. Mark enjoyed going to the penny arcades on these holidays, but him and his sister would often come back with more money than they started with. Fair one. Challenging each other to find as many fallen 2p's as they possibly could. He was overwhelmed by a trip to Disneyland in Florida when he was 12, and this led to 8 more trips to Disney in the future, just in case he missed something on all the other trips beforehand. His highlight was swimming with the dolphins, which he made sure he did on every occasion. Growing up, Mark had many hobbies, such as judo and swimming. He learned to swim rapidly when he fell into the fountain at the Grafton Centre, after his dad told him to retrieve the pennies in the bottom. It would have been much easier just giving him some pocket money, surely. Luckily, Pauline and Eddie had just brought him a new coat, so he spent the rest of the day wearing that instead of his wet clothes. Mark was diagnosed with diabetes aged 8. He was thrilled when Gary Mabbitt, one of his favourite Spurs players, wrote to him in the hospital to encourage him to manage his diagnosis. We remember when collecting Mark from school one day, his teacher telling us how proud they were he had helped another newly diagnosed child manage their own diabetes at school. How good was that? Mark's love of wrestling began when he was in hospital getting his diabetes diagnosis. And that is quite hard to say. When another patient gave him a magazine. Kelly has many memories of Mark as her children, with Mark practicing his wrestling moves on her and getting annoyed when he couldn't quite hurt her. Mark was allowed out of the hospital for half a day. He asked Pauline to take him to Cambridge, where he bought his first wrestling figure, Jake the Snake. I had never met or heard of Jake the Snake until I met you people. His memorabilia purchases never stopped, and this collection now not only fills his room at home, but also the garage and the spare room, which is packed completely full to the rafters. He always said one day he would like to open up a museum. This love of wrestling continued throughout his life. He visited countries all over the world, meeting many superstars at events in their hotels. Mark always worked hard to fund his many wrestling trips. He started working aged 13, delivering newspapers. At 17, worked part-time in the Sawston Co-op whilst he was at the college. One night he managed to push a trolley right through the window whilst collecting them. Eddie and Mark then had to spend all night waiting for the glazier to come and repair it. At CRC, Mark completed a child care course, which led to a career at Sawston Nursery. And so nice to see so many people today from Sawston Nursery. He worked in the toddler room, followed by the baby room, which he absolutely adored. When he left Sawston Nursery, he worked nights at Asda in Cambridge for 7 years. That came to a sad end as one night he was asked to chop up meat at the butcher's counter. A few hours later, the management regretted that choice when they walked in and saw Mark, his colleague, and the entire room covered in blood. It was then he was told to go. After 42 years in Sawston, Mark moved to Caister with his family. He stayed in touch with his very close friends. And he was thrilled to be asked to be a godfather to Austin, his best friend, baby. He's here today. Yeah. He's here today. Perfect. Hi, Austin. Sadly, he died before the christening took place. However, Nick insisted Mark would still be godfather, with Eddie stepping in at the christening to make the promises in Mark's place. We are sure he will be watching. He will be watching as Austin grows up. Mark's final trip for wrestling was for WrestleMania 42 weekend in Las Vegas. He was so excited for this trip, booking many more to meet and greets, including his all-time favourite wrestler, Steve Austin. Mark didn't manage to make the signing, but we know he enjoyed his last show, SmackDown and the Hall of Fame on the 17th of April. After Mark's death, we had a private goodbye, sending roses out to sea in his memory. Felt like Mark had other ideas, however, and the roses were continually washed back up on the shore. In the end, job for you, Chris had to wade out to the ocean to make sure they went, soaking his clothes in the process. Thank you, Pauline. You could probably have went on and on and on for a long time, but those words are just so nice. Thank you very much. Mark's likes. I always like to try and find out some likes and dislikes. Wrestling, of course, liked his wrestling. Football, especially Spurs. Live comedy shows, horror movies, going to the cinema to watch them with our friend Karen. Taco Bell and curries. He enjoyed a good argument with his dad, as he was a Spurs man and his dad was Manchester United. His dislikes, he had quite a lot. I've never heard of many people having as many dislikes as this. He didn't like a Sunday roast. Not to do with the roast, but just because he didn't like the vegetables that went with it. He didn't like Manchester United and Arsenal. Where is that man with an Arsenal strip? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your sense of humour. He didn't like, according to Chris, he didn't like learning to drive, but he loved driving when he eventually passed his test. He didn't like Caister. Why are people laughing? I'm not sure. He didn't like Caister much, only because he couldn't get a job there. Pauline also told me that Mark's big pet hate was her reading his newspaper before him and turning it inside out. The struggle was definitely real. Highlights of Mark's life included, amongst a few other things, of course, was meeting the top wrestlers in the world on his trips to WWE and having dinner with Jake the Snake. I hope we've got a photograph of Jake the Snake coming. Oh, that's good. When he achieved his lifelong dream of becoming a nursery nurse, he just loved every child he had the privilege of knowing. Mark would like to be remembered as the person he was, that caring, motivated, enthusiastic and dedicated person. The person who was happy to do anything to help others, and all this with a smile on his face. It's time to reflect just a little bit on Mark's life, everybody, with some music and photographs. So please take these moments, everyone, to reflect on Mark's life and just remember the good times that you have managed to spend in his company. The music today was written by Mark's friend Gavin. Is Gavin's here? Ah, right, Gavin's here, okay. The music was written by Mark's friend Gavin, especially for today. The music's called The Steel Chair, written by Frank Gavin. Thank you.
He was the voice in the crowd, the heartbeat in the stands, living every moment like the ring was Holy Land. He cheered for every underdog, believed in every fight, and somehow made the darkest nights feel painted in arena lights.
But life can hit harder than any steel chair ever could.
One day he didn't make it home, though God knows he would have if he could.
He lost his life, but he gained the world. In every chin, every bell, every banner unfurled.
His story didn't end, it just changed its place. Now he lives in the echoes and the tears on every face.
He's gone from the crowd, but he's part of the show. He lost his life.
But the world won't let him go.
The seat's still empty, but it's never really cold. 'Cause the memories he left behind are louder than told. Friends still talk about him like he's standing by their side, arguing over dream matches with that fire in his eyes.
And every time the lights go down, before the music hits, it feels like he's right there again, living every bit of it. Maybe heaven's got a front row, maybe he's chanting with the stars. Maybe every fallen wrestler found him and healed his scars.
And if love is a legacy, then he left more than he knew. Because the world he loved so fiercely now loves him back too.
He lost his life, but he gained the world. In every chin, every bell, every banner unfurled. His story didn't end, it just changed its place. Now he lives in the echoes and the tears on every face.
He's gone from the crowd, but he's part of the show. He lost his life.
But the world
music was special, wasn't it? Oh, okay. And some great photographs. You're lucky to have so many great photographic memories. What was he doing in the drain? Was he looking for 2 pencils? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway, difficult to follow. Of course, of course, of course. Anyway, you hear that music again in the future, no matter where you are, just spend a moment with one of those cherished memories I spoke about earlier. Now, we have some special tributes. Pauline, do you want to join me? Yeah, come on.
My dearest Mark, my precious boy, your laughter filled our home with joy. Sorry. You love to watch the wrestling ring, the strong men throw, the muscles swing. Then comedy would make you grin, the silly jokes where to begin. Your heart was kind, a gentle soul, a nursery nurse, you made kids fall. You had a shrewdness sharp and bright, could spot a bargain day or night. You worked in shops, a friendly face, always with kindness and grace. The thought of travel far and wide, on foreign shores you love to ride. New sights to see, new tastes to find, leaving the worries far behind. But most of all, your family dear, you held us close, you held us near. Your love, a constant shining light, guiding us through the darkest night. Now you are gone, the world feels bright. Miss your smile, miss your way. Sleep peacefully, my son, Mark. You'll always be our shining spark. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. Lovely words. Lovely poem. Tribute from Lou. Got Lou there? Thank you, Lou.
Mark. Well, Mark, what can I say? You have made us laugh, you have made us smile, and you have now made us cry. Mark was a great guy to work with and always took our joking about with him really well. We had some great times with Mark. We would get paper and rubbish and chuck it on his conveyor belt. And you would hear him say, "Seriously?" I think he especially liked it when me and Lisa would pod up and Lisa would deliberately sign him off his till. He knew she would do it every time though, but he didn't know that she would accidentally break his walking stick, which she was very sorry for. You would hear Mark at 4 p.m. on a Sunday on his till shouting down the aisle, "We're closed, you need to get to a checkout." Mind you, 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't listen. I remember putting stickers on his back and poor Lisa getting the blame as I could not do no wrong. But I did cut off the label to his t-shirt as all the time his label would always be sticking out. So I went over to him, apologised and then cut it off. So today I have cut my label off my t-shirt for you, my friend. Mark, I thank you personally for all my fridge magnets you got me from all your times away. Mark, you was a very caring young man, a true champ to all. And like all true champs, you deserve your own belt. So from myself and all who knew and loved you, I give you your own WWE champion belt. Rest in peace, my friend. You will be missed by many friends and family. Go spread your wings and go be with all the legends of WWE. Mark, goodbye, my friend.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. We'll tribute from Nick now. Nick, thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming today. It's amazing to see so many people here to show their respect for Mark, especially his friends from the wrestling community, such as Warren, we've got Mike, Andy, Jay, Abby, Lewis, and a few others I see. Who would have thought Mark would become the most famous wrestling fan there is, even topping the green shirt guy? Mark gave his whole life to support the wrestling business, travelling thousands of miles and spending a small fortune on his very large collection of everything wrestling related you can imagine. It means so much the wrestling community responded so generously to get Mark home after the tragedy of losing him. With so many wrestling fans and stars donating and sharing to the GoFundMe, it was incredible to see. Now, how I know Mark and how he became my best friend. Nearly 20 years ago, as a fan attending my monthly EAW shows in Rushden with Helen and Matt, they would sit in the front row near the Hammer Zone every single month. Like so many others, he was soon roped in becoming a worker for me, willing or not. But Mark wasn't just any worker, he was the hardest working crew I ever had. In fact, we renamed the Crew of the Year award to the Marc Izard Award to give others a chance to win in it, as every year he would win it. From fan to worker to my right-hand man to my best friend, I honestly don't know how he put up with me half the time. He would be the first to arrive and the last to leave, helping set up and take down the ring, take payments, seat the fan, steward the show, and everything in between. Outside of EAW, we travelled all over the UK together, attending WWE, TNA, AEW, and various comedy shows. He'd often visit me at my house, and I enjoyed visiting Mark and getting a home-cooked meal from Pauline. I love and trusted Mark with everything. He's always willing to give me a shoulder to cry on. Sarah and I chose Mark to be Austin's godfather, as he was the most kindest, caring, thoughtful and loving person we knew. We know you would have guided him throughout life and be his biggest supporter. We had some big plans to take him to WWE together, and I promise you, Mark, I will take him when he is a little older and tell him all about his amazing godfather and his love for wrestling. I'm going to miss you so much, Mark. I love you, mate.
Thank you for those tributes. Every word was meaningful. Every word was special. Mark would have been proud of you today. We have some poetry to finish off the tributes, really. So we've got Ellie. Ellie. Thank you, Ellie. It's on here if you want to.
He wasn't bound by blood or name, yet somehow still it felt the same. A present warm, a ready grin, the kind of soul you're glad you're in. For years it slipped like quiet streams, he filled the ordinary scenes. With laughter easy, stories bright, the kind that stay when you're out of sight, when you're off sight. He set his sights on one more night, beneath the roar, beneath the light. A lifelong fan, his heart aflame, for every chant, for every name. To Vegas where the bright lights blaze, where dreams are loud and nights are made. He went to feel that magic near, the crowd, the ring, the atmosphere. And now the echoes carry wide, like empty seats at ringside. A space that lingers, soft but true, in everything he loved and knew. Still in each cheer that fills the air, you'll feel a trace of him still there. In every match, each rise and fall, his spirit has not left at all.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you. Lovely words. Thank you. And Karen, please.
I have to quickly say your poem was lovely, and Mark always wrote people poems in their cards, and that's where he got it from, I'm sure. Our wonderful friend Mark. Mark, it's hard to know where to begin. I still expect you to walk right in. You may not be beside me as we go for a drive, but the memories will always keep you alive. You had a heart so warm and bright, a guiding star, a shining light. You gave your love so selflessly to friends and family endlessly. The Yellow Room was where we met, our dream team and days we will never forget. Through the hours we'd laugh and play and make sweet memories every day. You tripped and spilt blueberries all over the floor. You slipped on one and then tripped some more. Literally blueberries flying everywhere on the babies' heads, on the floor. Through the hours we'd laugh and play and make sweet memories every day. We all laughed so much it hurt our cheeks. We had so much fun through those magical weeks. And Mother's Day brought crafts galore, with handprints cut unlike any before, fingers missing and poking out at all angles, ready to glue and cover in spangles. You filled each room with warmth and grace, a smile forever hard to replace. Your gentle kindness, pure and true, left little pieces of you in all you knew. My horror film buddy, my partner in crime, my in-car counsellor and listener sublime. You were always there for everyone, with an ear, a hug, and lots of fun. Wrestling was your greatest delight, travelling far to watch each fight. All the way to Vegas you'd roam, a place that always felt like home. Forever 43 you'll be, a treasured age in memory. Though far too soon you had to part, you'll stay forever in each heart. Though heartbreak came when you passed away, your love still lights our paths each day. In every laugh and every smile, we feel your presence all the while. So, Mark with a C, please know it's true. We'll always carry thoughts of you, forever cherished, loved and clever, our beautiful friend, forever and ever.
What great tributes. Thank you all very much. The words and the poetry mean a lot. So everybody, it's now time to say our last farewells, our last goodbye to Mark. So please, if you're able to, can you stand with me for a few moments? Mark, I speak now for all your family and friends. And Mark, today we are here to honour your life and to the times that you spend with your friends and with your family. And your departure, they must now sadly accept. Your memory will always be cherished by everyone who is here today and those who sadly could not make it. And although there is grief today as your family and your friends say goodbye, there is a great gratitude for your life. Gratitude that could never be measured. A life that will be so far remembered long after today. You've left a legacy second to none in what you have achieved in your life. And your friends and family are truly grateful for the privilege of having shared life with you. Those special moments they spent in your company will always remain with them. But rest now as you arrive at the end of your journey here. You are resting in the hearts and the minds of all those who love and have known you. They will always remember you, and they will keep those special memories of you close by. And so with this love and with those special memories, we shall leave you in peace. And with respect, we bid you a fond farewell. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Lord's Prayer. The words are on Mark's order of service. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing just for a little while longer. We have a 10-bell salute. This salute is used as a solemn expression of respect for a departed loved one and reflects the completion of their journey here on earth. Between every toll of the bell, let it remind us of the kindness shared, the friendship made, and the laughter enjoyed, and that love will never fade. Thanks, Nick. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Mark, your family and friends here today wish to thank you for absolutely everything. The joy and the laughter, the tears and the things that you brought to their lives, and just for being there for them. The things I have spoken about in the last few minutes, everybody, have perhaps only scratched the surface of the stories of Mark's life. And you, the people here today, will have many more memories to share. Please always, as I've said, hold these memories of Mark close. They are indeed so precious. Think of Mark often and remember the good times you spent in his company. Mark may not be with you in body, but he is still in your heart and still in your mind, and there he will remain until you meet again. For me, Mark, it has been an honour to be part of your ceremony today, and it's safe to say there's nobody here today whose life has not been enriched by you being a part of it. You'll be missed by everyone, friends and family alike. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've had the privilege of standing here today talking about Mark, but I'm leaving the rest of the day to you, Mark's family and friends, to celebrate it in the way that he would want you to do. That may include a hangover in the morning. The last words from Mark to his family and friends are simple. If you want to do something, just do it. A final reflection, everyone. Music, we've got a little bit of Whitney Houston for you.